Hi, I'm Nancy O'Neill. On Suncoast FYI today are Chris Alexander from Shelterbox USA, Laura Avery with a preview of a new exhibition underway at Selby Gardens, and Wendy Valquez and Andrew Lyman with Hope for Children and Families, all next on Suncoast FYI. Last year was an intense year for storms. Today we introduce you to a Suncoast charity delivering shelter to families devastated by disaster and conflict. Communications Manager Chris Alexander joins me now to talk about this. Thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you for having me, Nancy.
To start with, tell us about Shelterbox and how it helps with disaster relief, please.
Sure. Shelterbox is an international disaster relief charity, and we specialize in hand delivering emergency tented shelter to survivors of natural disaster or conflict anywhere in the world. Now, in addition to tented shelter, we supply other critical humanitarian aid items like solar lights, water filtration kits, blankets, bed sheets, that kind of stuff.
Those don't come in the boxes when you deliver them, or they do?
Everything can come in the box, yes.
Everything comes in a box.
This is our most iconic aid item, the green shelter box. Mm-hmm. So inside this box you would find the tent and a customized assortment of humanitarian aid. Now the key with Shelterbox is that we believe every disaster is different, every community is different, mm-hmm. So we customize the aid that we deliver to the beneficiaries. And we hand deliver them to every single family, whether it's our response teams that deliver it, mm-hmm. or our trusted aid partners in areas that are difficult to work in because of security.
Okay, how many people does this box service?
So one box goes to one family, okay. And that family could be different sizes, but we say between an average size of 4 to 6 people.
Okay. And so critical supplies, I mean, people can go find out more about that. There's a lot I want to talk to you about. So you've been involved now since 2013.
Yes.
And we talked earlier, you said this year alone, how many displaced families are there?
There's 85 million people displaced around the world right now. It's the highest displacement of humans in the history of the planet. Now, the bulk of that comes from conflict situations, mm-hmm. and we're operating in those areas like Syria, Iraq, the Lake Chad Basin in Africa, mm-hmm. which has 4 different countries, mm-hmm. And then the rest were natural disasters, which we're seeing greater intensity and frequency around the world.
I know, too much. So what makes this different from other charities that you and I know about?
Sure. I think that there are key differences between Shelterbox and other charities, mm-hmm. one being our volunteer program.
Sure.
We have hundreds of volunteers around the world. Some of those volunteers are on our Shelterbox response team, mm-hmm. and these are men and women that volunteer their time to go to disaster sites and deliver our aid to beneficiaries. We have an ambassador network here in the U.S. Those are volunteers that raise awareness and donations for Shelterbox. Mm-hmm. That's how I started with the organization. Mm-hmm. And this could be somebody that champions our work on social media, to volunteers that do a bucket list item, something that they've always wanted to do, but they translate that into something that can raise awareness about our humanitarian work.
Okay, so 2017 was an intense year for disasters, and how did Shelterbox respond?
Yeah, I think 2017 was a very intense year, and we operated in those conflict areas, those ongoing conflict areas, mm-hmm. Syria, Iraq, and Lake Chad Basin in Africa.
And how do you get these there? You say hand deliver. I mean, how do you get them to where they have to be?
That's a tough question to answer because every disaster has its own challenges.
Sure.
Ultimately, we do it any way possible, mm-hmm. whether it's by train, by plane, by goat,
okay.
by tuk-tuk, or carried by hand. Okay. We get these boxes to the people that need them any way possible. Okay. But to answer your question about 2017, mm-hmm. We operated in the Caribbean after all of the hurricanes last year, mm-hmm. 6 different countries, including the island of Barbuda, which was evacuated for the first time in 300 years. There was nobody on the island. It was 95% destroyed.
Yes.
And so Shelterbox was instrumental in helping the people that were coming back to the island. Mm-hmm. In our U.S. response, we operated in Texas after Hurricane Harvey, mm-hmm. And there we provided privacy tents in large areas of congregated shelter. So like the Georgia R. Brown Convention Center. We provided tents for privacy and dignity issues like medical screenings, counseling, breastfeeding.
Whatever somebody needs. You brought something with you, and I'd like to
I
show
did.
because we only have a minute left.
Sure. So among the 8 items that Shelterbox provides is
Yeah.
the Luminate solar light, right? And so this plaque's flat in our shelter box, which
Yep.
is great for shipping, but then it inflates and it creates a light that's perfect for nighttime security, for reading, basically anything you need to do.
That is so cool. Okay. So that's why you can get so much in a box. And again, like I said, I wish we had more time, but you've got a volunteer story you wanted to share.
Yeah, we have an amazing local volunteer. His name's Eric Elsey. He lives in Cape Coral. And starting this Saturday, he's going to canoe the entire length of the Mississippi River to raise awareness for Shelterbox.
Awesome. Now, where can our viewers go to learn more about how to get involved, Chris?
Sure. If you want to donate, volunteer, learn more about our work, you can visit shelterboxusa.org.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for doing all of this hard work. I'm humbled by the work that, you have so many volunteers helping you with.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Nancy.
Coming up after the break, we'll show you a brand new exhibit at Selby Gardens. Welcome back to Suncoast FYI. A new exhibition has debuted at the Selby Gardens, and you can even buy some of the beautiful pieces. I'm joined now by Marie Selby's Botanical Gardens manager, Laura Avery, to talk about that and the show that they have coming up. So welcome to the program.
Thank you.
And nice to see you again.
Thank you.
Old Ringling colleague. Yes, now at the beautiful Selby Gardens. So what's the exhibition and how did it all come up? Do you decide on what the programs are going to be, Laura?
Well, I'm the manager of exhibits and classes, but we have a team that we get together and put together a schedule. And this year we had rearranged things a little bit, so we had some extra time. And I wanted to do something a little different that we had not done at the Gardens before. We had never done a glass show. And I was familiar with Duncan McClellan's work, who has a studio in St. Pete, so it was close. So I contacted him about the possibility, and he was very enthusiastic. And it grew from just showing his work to 15 glass artists.
Oh my gosh, are they all from St. Pete or Florida? Or?
Yeah, yes, they're all associated with he has a gallery and a studio in St. Pete, and the gallery represents over 90 nationally known and internationally known glass artists.
Oh my. Big place, yes. A good place to go and spend the day.
Absolutely,
Yes,
yeah.
So what other related programs do you have that are going to tie in with this exhibit?
Well, the first thing will be our reception, which is on July 13th from 5:30 to 7:30. It's free, but you have to register. So if anyone is interested in coming, and some of the artists will be there to talk to the attendees, it's just call the Selby number, which I believe you'll be saying later.
Yeah.
And then following that, on the 21st of July, we have they have a mobile glass lab unit, which they will bring down to the Selby Gardens, and they will demonstrate from 10 to 3 that day on the 21st, different techniques of glass blowing. It should be really fun.
Yeah.
And that is free with admission.
Okay.
And then we have, in collaboration with the Ringling Museum, we are going to be touring their new glass pavilion on August 7th at 11 o'clock. There is a small charge for that, but if you contact the Gardens, we can register for that. And then we have classes. We have classes that you can take. We're going to do a stained
glass classes?
Glass classes. We're going to do a stained glass class.
Is it a one-day workshop or?
It's that one is actually a 4-day workshop. And then we're doing, for instance, we're doing learning how to paint glass in watercolor, because that's a sort of a different technique to use. So there's lots of different things that you can do in besides see the show.
Okay, and that's all on the website.
And that's all on the website.
Go there and find
right.
out. So glass has always been popular. Why do you think it's so popular?
Well,
I mean, I love it.
Yeah, it's such a magical medium, I think. Since people discovered how to make glass, it's been a luxury item, really, and I think that's added to its cachet, too. But in the 1960s and early 70s, the American art glass movement was started, and that sort of was the impetus for people to see glass as a medium for art, too. And I think that added to its mystique of this beautiful translucent light that's in an object you can hold.
Yeah, it's great. Now, the pieces are going to be for sale.
That's right, that's right. And we have smaller pieces that are very affordable, around $60, all the way up to some very large pieces that are around $12,000.
Okay, and how do the artists and how does Selby benefit? Where do the profits go from this, Laura?
We share the profit of the sales. Part of it does go to the artist, of course, and the other part supports our education programs at Selby. So.
Okay. Now, besides this exhibit, what else do you have coming up?
Well, we have a year-round exhibit program at Selby. And we're open 364 days a year.
Closed at Christmas?
Christmas, right. The show that we'll be having after the glass show is the juried photography competition, which is open to everyone. It's called Celebrate Selby, and it's just the subject matter has to be Selby related. And then following that, opening in October, we have our annual orchid show, which is always so gorgeous.
So beautiful, yeah.
And that will run to the end of the year, basically. And then in January, we have our very popular Costa Rican mask show.
Yep.
And that will be followed by our Masterworks program, which will be Gauguin that year. Wow. So that's going to be really exciting.
How fun for you.
It is.
Right?
It's just, my art is my background, and although I love being in the gardens and seeing that aspect of the plants and how we try to create an immersive experience that puts nature and art together, that's been an inspiration to artists forever.
Right? And what a beautiful place you have to work. What a beautiful office.
Oh, right. I do. Thank you.
Well, thank you for being here, and look forward to seeing you at the show.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Thanks, Laura.
You're welcome.
Coming up next on Suncoast FYI, we take a look at the Suncoast nonprofit helping the homeless in our community. Welcome back to Suncoast FYI. Hope for Children and Families serves the homeless and helps victims of human trafficking. We're joined now by the CEO of Hope for Children and Families, Wendy Vasquez, and Advisory Manager Andrew Lyman. Welcome to both of you to the show. You have an incredible mission and an amazingly difficult job, but we really appreciate all that you do. So please tell our viewers what your mission is, and then tell us how it got started, please, Wendy.
Well, our mission is to empower people, and most of them are homeless, drug addicts, ex-convicts, people that come from the jail also, and victims of human trafficking. The need is very crucial, it's very big, and we're trying to definitely partner with different organizations that can help us to create more housing, empowerment programs, and supportive work environment for these people as well.
Okay, so your mission is to empower these people, and how do you go about doing that?
We facilitate for them different types of programs. They have to be enrolled in the program. First of all, they can be homeless, and if we have the housing available at that moment, we can shelter them in, or if we can route them in a way that they can find an employer who can be supportive for them. Okay. Because remember, these people, because they have a conviction, it's very hard for them to find a job.
Right.
Empowerment is in such a way of mentally, spiritually also, that we partner with Dr. Ray and Dr. Michelle, and they also help us in the clean eating facility as well. So it's a very wide program that we're trying to put all together to help these people as well. And we have partner organizations like Rotary also as well.
Okay. Now, how did you start your mission, Wendy?
I started my mission because I was homeless at one point, me and my daughters. And I understood about the system. I understood how hard it is to even get child support when you don't have an address. I saw the way how when you are into the system, it's very hard for you to get back on your feet if you are not strong enough.
Absolutely.
But if you have the support and the people that will support what you do also, it will help you to move a step forward.
Okay, and Andrew, how did you get involved?
You know, Wendy and I met through Rotary. And Rotary is a business leadership organization. Even though our motto is service above self, it's really about building business leaders in the community. And it's not just about for-profit business. Nonprofit business, especially in Sarasota, is rich with nonprofit leaders. To foster that leadership in the organization and to build those leaders and find mentors for those leaders is highly important to the success of organizations on there. And knowing Wendy's story, you can't help but open your heart, your checkbook hopefully, and do whatever she needs to support her and the community.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, support, when you talk about support, I'm sure you need a lot. How do you define what you need?
Well, definitely we need the funding. Right now we are looking to get the $60,000 for 2 houses that we have in Manatee. And I know we're gonna make it. We're working so hard every month trying to do our dress collection and fundraising event in different places. This month there's gonna be a chef rolls. July 20th.
New Florida Kitchen?
Yeah, the new Florida Kitchen.
Excellent.
July 26th. So I'm inviting everybody who wants to come and support. You have to donate a dress. If you don't have a dress, you pay $10 at the door. That will be your fundraising. So we're taking the steps of, one by one to raise money.
Okay.
And it's going to be at 6:30 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Chef Rolf's is now located on the corner of?
Siesta Drive and US 41.
Okay. All right. Now, you said you have other events. That's the one that's coming up, but you have a monthly.
It's going to be a monthly event.
Okay, and then, but people can also go on your website and donate if they choose to do that, and we'll have that across the bottom of the screen. So you're building 2 houses currently that you've got projected to build, right? Correct? How many houses do you actually have?
Right now, we just have the 2.
The 2. Okay.
We're looking to get more, but I think this is going to be our first step. We had a main house before, but we closed it last year.
Okay. How many people are you currently working with, Wendy?
Last year, you mean homeless or organizations?
Well, yes, the homeless, the people that you're helping.
Last year, we served 37 homeless. We are part of the HMIS system because as an organization, you have to be registered with the Suncoast partnership. And, you learn from them, you take all the leads, you take the referrals. So we are part of that system as well in order for you to help homeless people in this area.
And Andrew, what would you like to add before we close today?
It's great to see our leaders in the organization, in our community, step up and really take these issues on. These are tough, deep issues that sometimes are very difficult to deal with. And to see somebody like Wendy have the passion for this, to really give back, and knowing her personal situation that she's gone through is really heartwarming. And I wish we had more people like her to be able to attack these issues, because we need that in our community.
Well, it's such a personal thing for you, that people can relate to what you've gone through and hopefully step forward and help. So thank you very much, and I'm so glad that you're here with us today.
No, so glad
Appreciate
to.
it.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The weekend is almost here, so if you're looking for something to do, we have a few suggestions and we'll show you when we come back. Coming up this weekend on the Suncoast, it's the 10th annual Sarasota Improv Festival at the Florida Studio Theater campus. The event runs all weekend, and for more information, you can call 941-366-9000 or visit floridastudiotheater.com. And it's Christmas in July Arts and Crafts Show with local vendors and food concessions. The event takes place at the Venice Community Center. For more information, you can call them at 941-861-1380. If you would like to promote your community event on Suncoast FYI, we would love to hear from you. This is a complimentary service. Please call our producer Robert Paldofino at 941-361-4616. To view previous episodes, go to sntv.com under Programming. I'm Nancy O'Neill, and we'll see you next Friday on Suncoast FYI.